I would see them at home, but that was pretty much it. But it wasn't until the end of my freshman year in college, my best friend ended up passing away, and I also went through a really big breakup. And I then started questioning if I even wanted to be in college and if I even wanted to live at that point, It was hard for me to come to college as well at the beginning of my sophomore year because my best friend came to CSUN. She was actually an EOP student just like yourselves. And just coming here was hard. But thanks to my family and that support that I had from them, I was able to find my identity and my strength again. And now I'm about to graduate this semester. Like this is the but like I said, I'm fortunate to have that strong, loving support from my family. But not everybody has that opportunity, especially for those that leave their home to a university out of their state or out of their city. They feel that physical distance, which makes this whole experience like very lonesome. For those that are, like I mentioned before, low income or first generation, your family doesn't really understand what you're going through, which, like I said, to me, I felt that a big disconnect. And I don't know if any of you are feeling that as well sometimes, fighting with your parents about like, no, I have to be out late, not because I'm going to party, but because I'm actually studying. But it's kind of hard to balance that out. And that financial pressure I felt by being discouraged not to move out. I don't know if some of you are also feeling that, but I was discouraged because they recommended that I stay at home because for the whole group as a family, it's better. I wish I could have moved out because I commute now 40 miles each day, and it's tough. That hour or hour and a half that I used to travel, I always thought like I can be living at the dorms and I can use that time, that hour and a half to study. But instead I had to use that time to travel. So it's tough, but in order, a good way to decrease all of this sense of loneliness and stress, we want to build that strong relationship with our family instead. And according to an admissions director from Indiana University, his name is Chris Foley, he says that building a strong relationship in college is really the strongest support system you can find. And because those are the people you're going to turn to guide you from being kind of like a young adult to really being an independent person. Also, according to Kids Matter, they say that communication is key to building a strong family relationship. I know that now my mom and I have like one of the closest relationships ever because I'm so open with her with everything I do. Although she may not completely agree with what I do, at least she understands where I'm coming from by being open with her. And also, learn when to ask for help. Again, your parents aren't going to know what you're doing unless you communicate with them, but you may not have all the answers. So fortunately, you guys have this EOP program that provides you with a lot of information, but don't forget to communicate that back to your parents. Communicate that back to your brothers and sisters, because that will either help your brothers and sisters throughout their journey and make your bond even closer, and also with your parents. So for those people that don't have a good family relationship, even after trying to do all of this, you might be able to substitute your family with your friends. So Sonya is going to help us explain how our friends can be very helpful throughout this journey.
Thank you, Natalie. Next, we'll be discussing friends. And as many of you guys know, I'm Sonya, and I'm a third-year EOP English student here at Cal State Northridge. And although I'm a third year and I am a mentor, I still suffer or struggle with friends, whether it's being peer pressured by them or finding the missing piece to the puzzle. Knowing that we come from a low-income background and we're first-generation students, our friends don't always understand what we're going through in college. Some of them don't even understand college, so they pressure us to doing drugs or smoking and drinking, things we shouldn't be doing as college students. But some of them, they benefit our lives, and they can be the missing piece to our puzzle. The negative things about friendship is peer pressure. Peer pressure is a huge factor in friendships. Being that we are college students, we suffer lot of freedom. Being that freedom is so broad, negative influences are very easy to access. And that can lead to being pressured, like I said, into drugs or alcohol. And then last but not least, depression. Losing friends is a huge part of college success. Some of our friends don't even understand the pressure that they put on us because they just want to be in the loop. But we don't have to be in the loop. According to an article, Thinking About College Peer Pressure, that was published in Seven magazine, depression is rapidly on the rise at many college campuses across America because individuals come to college wanting to fit in, but not realizing the people that's making them fit in can be the negative influences in their life. Which leads us to building a healthy friendship. According to the article, 5 Tips for U.S. International Students to Make Friends in College by Julie and Lindsay Mayfield, a database published to better help students connect in college, Julie states that being connected to like-minded individuals and club organizations are very important. It stops us from being alone or attaching ourselves to individuals who influence us to do bad things because we're all like-minded and we all have one goal in college. And then the students that we connect within the club organizations support us in our college experience because they understand what we're going through. Our families might not understand because we're all low-income students and first generation. They might not understand what we're going through in college. So the support that's needed for college can come from our friends that we make in the club organizations. And according to the article, using students' voices to redefine support stresses how important friends that you meet in club organizations is important to succeed in college. Which leads us to our next speaker, Jerica, that will talk about romantic relationships in college.
Thank you, Sonya. So most people think that romantic relationships in college consist mostly of hooking up. But according to a new study by the Miriam Hospital Center for Behavioral and Preventive Medicine, college students are not hooking up as often as the outside world may think. In fact, they found that romantic relationships are more common sexual behavior in colleges where romantic sex with a partner was twice as common as hookup sex. Now that I have your attention, my name is Jerica, and I am a senior here at CSUN. I've dealt with the good and bad of family, friend, and romantic relationships, and I actually just got out of a 4-year relationship a few months ago, and in my experience, it has helped me build my sense of self, find out more about myself, and also in the process I began to notice that there's a big difference between committed romantic relationships and just hookup sex, and I found from my experience that being in a committed romantic relationship is more beneficial. So I'd like to share with you the benefits of being in a committed romantic relationship. The first is that you'll be safer. Meaning that there's less to worry about in terms of your sexual health. If you have one sexual partner, there's less to worry about with STDs and STIs. Also, you'll be happier knowing that there's one person who loves you and adores you exclusively. And also, you'll have a good foundation for support when you're feeling down and at times of difficulty and stress. Like in college, all the college problems, and also if you're not having good relationships in your family or friend relationships, at times of these difficulties, companionship and intimacy are there for you. And also, according to UCLA psychology professor Benjamin Carney, romantic relationships are an avenue for growth and change. There's a lot to learn from other people and their personal experiences. They can inspire and motivate you. Also, the experience of being in love is a beautiful life change. But despite the good in romantic relationships, there can also be bad relationships. And there's a bad heart, broken like mine before, but I'm okay now. If you find yourself in a relationship where you aren't happy, you're too distracted, you're being abused physically, mentally, emotionally, get out. A relationship is supposed to build on who you are, not bring you down. So I recommend that you lose that person and not yourself. And now that we've discussed the good and bad of family, friend, and romantic relationships, I'm going to turn it back to Sonya.
Thank you. Next, we will be discussing the activity that we guys have planned for you guys. And it's called Can You Relate? It's a group activity, and you guys will have to break into 6 groups. And we will give you 3 to 6 minutes to discuss in a group what the relationships we give to you, how it can outcome. That makes sense. But then we will discuss as a whole.
So yeah, just get into like 3 groups of 3 or 4.
So in 3 minutes, we'll bring it back together. So just stay on top of you.
Sometimes I don't feel like going to college. We have to go to school. Is college a priority? Oh, I don't talk to like friends and nice things. Except for like going back.
What do you guys have? Have you guys experienced anything like a bad relationship? No. What about a healthy relationship? Yeah? Yeah?
So we're going to bring it back. Okay. And we're going to discuss out loud or share out loud what you guys have discussed in your group. Any volunteers that want to share? We have about 2 minutes.
We have some discussion about relationships, how to have a good, we had a discussion about how to have a good, healthy relationship. We were just talking about how it's so hard to have a relationship because some people, like, some partners want the full attention. And it's just like, you know, I have a life too. And it's just like, you love the person, but you just don't want them to feel like less, but you have all these things to do. So I just said, just don't even have a relationship. Don't be part of a relationship.
A good relationship or a bad relationship?
Don't even get in one.
Anybody else want to share or add on to that?
Avoid the heartbreak.
Who had friends? Did anybody have friends?
Oh yeah, we do.
You guys like me?
We talked about how like we have some friends that actually do encourage us, but friends that we don't really talk to anymore because like either they don't go to college or they don't really like, encourage us to go.
Yeah, because they're not in the same situation as us, so they don't understand.
So what are some things that they say to you that make you feel like?
Like, well, my friend high school, all they do is they were always party people, and now it's like they're doing the same thing. They're doing nothing with their life. They're going nowhere, and they think that that's the thing to do. But I mean, they're not always gonna like. What are you gonna do when your parents are not there to support you? So.
And what about anything quick?
So I was saying, I didn't have any problems, but I was like stressing out because like 2 of my classes like doing all these things and not like this. I just told her what my goals were, and she just like, oh, just like go out and like there's use my resources.
So she showed like a good support system.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we have all been able to relate and discuss, now we'll turn it over to Natalie that will express to us how important it is to have a relationship with ourselves before it is to build one with others.
So, what is the best way to start building a relationship with yourself? Some of you might say maybe by taking a selfie first. Yeah. No. But in reality, the best way to start building that relationship with yourself is by prioritizing. As y'all mentioned, it's really hard to try and figure out what to do in college when you don't have a good sense of self. You have to really establish yourself first by setting your goals. Be really specific with the goals that you want out of life, and especially here in college. You're presented with so many opportunities. This is the perfect time for you to just be selfish and put yourself first. Once you have your set goals, you should then make a specific plan. Make short-term goals and long-term goals. By making those short-term goals, you'll be able to actually accomplish these long-term goals. But if you just set like a random goal such as, oh, I'm going to graduate in 4 years. Okay, but how are you going to do it? By setting those small-term goals such as, oh, well, I'm going to talk to a counselor by the end of this month. Or I'm going to get at least a B in every single one of my classes. You know, those are short-term goals that will definitely accomplish the end. Also, be very selective. As the table over here in the back mentioned, you know, some people can be either help you get closer to those goals or push you further away. So I know it's tough, but it's again, like I said before, this is a time to be selfish. You have to be selective with the people that you surround yourself with. Try and get those people that will really encourage you and not, you know, distract you from what you're trying to work hard for. And don't be afraid to do that. You know, it's gonna hurt. You know, I've lost a lot of friends and people in my life that I thought were gonna be there forever. But at the end of the day, I decided to be selfish, and like I said before, I also went through a hard relationship, but it's made me more sure of what I want and become a more stronger individual. Also, by doing that, like one of the things I did was like really focus on my knowledge, and so Sonya is going to explain more on how knowledge will help you build yourself.
Good point, Natalie. With knowledge, it was okay to step outside of your comfort zone. Try new things. Explore new classes. Talk to your advisors to guide you in ways that you can take general education, which can lead you to things that you are interested in. General Education Pass Program, which is a program that allows a general education path program is a program that allows you to take general education courses here at CSUN that interest you in something that you want to be doing, and it's not just pointless for you to take. And also, the Career Center. The Career Center is very helpful because it can guide you into internships or just connect you to people that you can be with for a lifetime. And lastly, experience. That was me. Experience. Sorry, guys. Experience in college is very important. We can have experience by going to organizations like I have mentioned earlier, or just go find friends to party with. In your cousin organizations, they're going to have parties. But if you have a good experience with them, you don't have to go back and be with someone that's not a good influence on your life. And to wrap it up, I'm going to leave you with this quote. Everything and everyone has a place to be. It's just a matter of how they get there and when. You can have a place, you just have to find it. Which turns it over to Jerica that will describe the importance of being alone.
So in order to maintain a good relationship with yourself, you must make sure that you are healthy, your mind and body is healthy. And as you all know, first time freshmen in college, coming into college, you realize that your parents aren't always going to be there for you, taking care of you. So you have to make sure that you're staying physically and mentally fit. And in order to do that, the first thing is take time for yourself. This is your me time. Take yourself out on a date. Don't be afraid to be alone. Secondly, you can contribute to your community or volunteer. Basically, improving others' lives will improve your life as well. And make sure that you take care of your body. It's easier to feel good about life if your body feels good too. And also challenge yourself. Try out new things. Try out new things. Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. And this will help you build your skills and confidence. And as well, deal with stress. The way that you can deal with stress is through meditation, relaxation, breathing exercises, or yoga. And also make sure you get enough sleep and refresh your mind by setting aside unfocused time. Basically set aside time to not think, because you already have too much on your plate. And the way that you can do this is just reset your mind so that when you go back to doing your work, you're energized and ready. And also be in the moment. As college students, we're always thinking about past struggles and the future. But what we really have right now, as cliche as it sounds, is this moment, so we should be thankful for it, and we should take advantage of it. To wrap things up, we went over the importance of building relationships with others and building a relationship with yourself. Perfect. Building these strong relationships will help your feelings of loneliness here in college disappear, and it will also boost your confidence and strengthen your independence. So there's Sonya with her family, Sonya with her friends, Natalie with her family, and me all by myself. And lastly, we want to end with one more slide. If you guys know someone, if you or someone you know is suffering from loneliness, depression, or just overwhelmed with school, this is the CSUN helpline. Call it, they'll be happy to listen to you and help you out.
And everything is anonymous.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. We're good, Donnie. Thank you.